Hey guys, how's it going? I got a bunch of scrap wood over here. This is like from an old table. It was actually a round table, and I chopped it up and made it into a square table, and was left with all these little bits and pieces. It's pretty thick pine, and didn't really want to throw it away, so I thought I would make something out of it. So let's see what I can come up with. Alright, so here we are. I've got all my scrap pieces cut. As much as I could anyways. These pieces just ended up being too small and kind of unsafe to cut on my saw. I had a little kickback on this one and thought I was going to lose a finger there, but did not, so that's good. Made a mess as usual. Always making things messy. So let's see what we made with the scrap wood over here. There we go. I went with some wooden stars. I've kind of messed around with making these before, so I thought I'd just try that with this. Seemed like good material. Everything fit together quite nicely. All the angles there. And then I had enough to make a smaller one. I'll have to make a video in the future on how to cut all these angles. There's various ways of making a 5-point star with a miter saw. I've found one that works best for me. So now that they're cut, I'm going to sand them down and take a chamfering bit, 45-degree angle router bit, to go along the edges here and just make it look a little better. So I'll show you that next. Okay, here we are, all sanded and edges chamfered. That's the 45-degree angle router bit. You can see what that looks like there. Really cleans it up quite a bit instead of just sanding. You don't have to do it, but I kind of like the way it looks. So the scrap wood that I used before was actually quite dented and scratched up. As you can see, I got all of that out with just sanding. I used 100 grit and went up to about 150. Doesn't really need much more than that. There's a smaller one there. So now all I have to do is assemble them and paint them. I'll probably assemble them by putting some glue in these edges. I should say probably, that's usually exactly what I do. And then I put a backing on the back, usually like some kind of hardboard. I'll see what I have lying around the shop, and I'll show you what that looks like afterwards. Okay, here we are. All the stars completed. As you can see, there's 2 extra ones there, which weren't there earlier. I found a 2x4 and wasn't going to use it for anything. My saw was all set up with all the angles and everything, so I figured, what the heck, may as well make a couple more. I used a walnut stain on those ones. They are thicker pieces of wood there, so I didn't have to put a backing on the back to hold it together. There's enough glue surface area there to keep it strong. This is the original project here. Went with a burgundy red for the larger one, gray for the smaller one, with a white wash finish on there. And I screwed them together there, so you got a little bit of a 3D effect going on. I think it'll stand out on the wall pretty good. The nice thing about this is you end up with a fairly large project for a bunch of scrap pieces. Each one of these larger pieces is only 10 inches long. These ones I think are about 7 or 8. So, you know, put a bunch of small pieces together, get a larger looking project. Definitely worth it, I'd say. there's the back plate that I was talking about. Glued on there, use an air nailer to nail it on there, and 1.5" screws to go through to screw the smaller star onto the large one on the front. And I just got a little bit of twine there to hang it on the wall. Okay, I think that's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more.